So what type of problem that you may encounter on this, and we'll do that in terms of shear stress. Could be a typical problem. We have a velocity distribution of the liquid. It's got a viscosity of 0.024 pounds per second, seconds per square foot. Then you got your flowing over a plate. The velocity distribution of the plate is given as 1.5 y. Okay, you have what you have. Again, your y direction, and that's basically the velocity distribution, just like we showed on an earlier. Okay, I can't draw that well. The velocity distribution. So we're giving that to you in terms of as a function of the distance into the fluid. V's velocity at a distance y above the plate. What is the shear stress at the plate surface? All right. Take the first derivative, dv dy. Here's your relationship here. Okay, so 1.5 y turns out to be 1.5. Okay, y squared. You take the 2 over here. So your dv dy turns out to be 1.5 minus 2y. Okay, the relationship definitions for shear stress is viscosity times dv dy. Okay, and we want to calculate it at y is equal to 0. What is it at the plate surface? All right, shear stress at point 0. Basic equation in here. Okay, here's your viscosity. Right? You take this dv dy, turns out to be 1.5. Okay, because this goes to 0, goes in here, so you just end up with 1.5. So you get a value of 0.036. Well, yeah, but you got a velocity distribution. Yeah, at y is 0. Okay. Well, it depends. You know, whatever flow it is. Yeah, it typically is, right? But the whole point on this is typically what they'll do is they'll give you the velocity distribution, and they could say, you know, we want it in x, x inches in or feet in or whatever it is tends to be into the problem statement in itself. Right? Just put that in there just so that you remember your differential calculus. When's the last time you did differential equation? So. For non-Newtonian fluids, they have what's referred to as the power law. Shear stress is a function of the flow consistency index, where N is the power law index. Again, things less than 1 are called pseudoplastic shear stress, like thinning and paint, or when an N value is greater, it's called a dilatant. Cornstarch in water is an example, that type of thing. Typically, there's no K factors, there's no N factors in your handbook, so they would give it to that. Again, they would ask you the shear stress for whatever, paint or whatever, but the values in less than 1. Again, they would give that to you. For Newtonian fluids, basically N is equal to 1, and it goes back, reverts back to the equations that we just did. Again, here we had this here. We talked about pressure, absolute is gauge, and atmospheric. 2.3 feet of water is equal to 1 psi. Right? Again, you have gauge pressure 0, absolute pressure. The whole point on this thing here, just to reiterate, is the standard pressure on the exam would be 14.7. Other than that, they would give it to you within the problem statement, or they may give you a barometer reading, and you have to convert it and calculate what the atmospheric pressure would be.